Football Saturday. Game days have looked quite different across SEC stadiums this season, of course, because COVID-19 safety protocols. Maybe the most noticeable change has been reduced stadium capacities across the SEC. Capacities have averaged between 20 and 25%, depending on the school. Both Alabama and Auburn are allowing about 20% fan capacity into games. All of these changes aren't just impacting the game day experience, they're also having a major effect on athletic department budgets. And joining us now to talk more about that financial impact and someone who is well versed on the topic, Dr. Darren White. He's the founding director of the sports marketing program at Samford School of Business. And Dr. White, can you even put into words how significant the pandemic has been on the financial side of sport, and overall at every level of sport?
Yeah, I know it's been catastrophic to the sports industry. Many people have been laid off in the industry. Many billions of dollars have been lost over the last several months. So, sports is one of the just the NFL alone, for example, is a $5 billion. That's what they drive in terms of revenue per year, and so you can imagine the kind of financial implications that this has had on the sports industry.
How important was it for the SEC from a financial side? I know, of course, they're trying to protect players when it comes to COVID-19, the pandemic, all of that. But how important was it to try to get this season up, off, and running in the fall and not push it back or cancel it altogether?
Yeah, well, it's critical because, again, college football makes up roughly 70 to 80% of most Power Five. The revenue that's generated by the entire athletic department, 70 to 80% of that is going to be coming from college football in one way or another. And so it's really critical from a financial perspective that that they were able to play the season. Yeah.
And it matters not only to the football team, but as to the athletic department as a whole. Like you mentioned a minute ago, a lot of layoffs that we've seen at Mid-American Conference, just like mid-level conferences and Power Five conferences, because football and the money it brings in is so significant to the athletic department as a whole. Right.
Yeah. So the vast majority of other sports don't drive much revenue, and so therefore they're dependent on the revenue from football to be able to even have their sport. And so and then of course on top of it, we lost the end of the college basketball season and March Madness and all of that, and that's the second biggest revenue generator. And if you remember, that's when this whole thing started. Was right in the middle of when that tournament was about to be played. Sure. So it's had a major impact on colleges and pro sports across the board.
Let's go off campus now. We know how important it is to the programs, to the athletic department. How important is it to the community, to the businesses there in Tuscaloosa, in Auburn, in all of those small SEC schools, and those neighborhoods, and just everything that people have built in those cities?
Yeah. So, for example, in Tuscaloosa, they've done an economic impact study, and they project that your typical game day is about a $20 million impact on the city of Tuscaloosa every single game day. And so again, you can imagine the hundreds of thousands of people that pour into the city and all the money that they spend, and all of a sudden, that's either now it's greatly reduced, and the numbers of games have been reduced as well.
Yeah. So what are ADs to do at this point? What are they to do to try to recoup this money? Is it all budget cuts? Is it all laying folks off? I mean, what do departments do, and the people who at the highest levels of the decision making, what can they do at this point?
Yeah. So fortunately, a lot of the partners, if you will, of college and college sports, for example, sponsors, the Regions Bank of the world, the Coca-Colas of the world, a lot of those companies that provide a lot of the sponsorship revenue, a lot of those companies have been very understanding, and there's been a lot of what we call make goods that have happened over the course of the last few months. Of course, we're now able to get at least 20 to 25% of the fans back in the stadiums. There's been campaigns been put out for donations, to kind of help support that way. So it's really a multi-tiered approach to try to sort of recoup that financial shortfall.
At what point are we no longer hurting as a country because of what the pandemic has done financially to the sports world?
Yeah, I'm an optimist, and I believe that once we are able to get past, get the vaccine, we get past this, this whole COVID thing, I believe the sports world is going to come back very quickly. Yeah. Because I think it's sort of like you don't know what you have until it's gone. Yeah. And we all didn't have sports for so many months, and we're now not getting to go to the games as much. And I think it's really created a sense of longing for sports.
Dr. Darren White, we appreciate your time. Thank you so much for your insight.
Thank you.
Thanks.